There comes a point in every silent struggle where the pain becomes too heavy to carry, yet too familiar to release. For years, that was my existence, a quiet collapse behind normal smiles, a loneliness hidden beneath routine. Depression wasn't a sudden storm in my life, it was a slow, invisible snowfall, each flake another unspoken fear, another unresolved wound. It built slowly, quietly, until one day I woke up buried beneath my days blurred into one another, same bed, same shadows, same heaviness. I wasn't living. I was drifting. I watched life move forward while I remained stuck in the same emotional quicksand. I convinced myself that this was who I was now, tired, broken, incapable, pointless. I didn't need anyone to tell me I had fallen apart, I felt it in every breath I struggled to take, and yet, rock bottom wasn't a dramatic moment. It wasn't a breakdown. It was something far simpler. One morning, I sat on the edge of my bed and realized I had nothing left to lose. Not hope. Not strength. Not even fear. Everything had already crumbled. And in that emptiness, an idea flickered, small, faint, but real. A thought so simple I almost dismissed it: what if I don't give up today? It wasn't a plan. It wasn't courage. It wasn't a solution. It was just a decision, fragile, delicate, trembling. But one decision can be a turning point. That morning, for the first time in years, I decided to fight back. My fight didn't begin with grand changes or dramatic victories. It began with one action: I stood up. That was all. I stood up, even though I didn't want to. Even though everything felt heavy. Even though it hurt. That tiny act felt meaningless in the moment, yet it was the first step out of the darkness. That day, my win was brushing my teeth. And making my bed. And drinking a glass of water. Small things that seemed insignificant to the world but monumental to my heart. Depression teaches you to shrink your worth, to believe that small steps don't matter. But when you have nothing, small steps are everything. The next day, I tried again. I didn't always succeed. Some days I slipped backward. Some days I couldn't get out of bed. Some days the weight returned with full force. But the difference was simple: I was fighting now, not surrendering. I started with 5 minutes of walking outside. 5 minutes felt like climbing a mountain. My body was tired, my mind even more exhausted. But something unexpected happened. For the first time in a long time, I felt the air on my skin, the sun warming my face. 5 minutes turned into 8, then 10. The world slowly became a place I could exist in again. I began writing too, not poetry, not essays, just thoughts. Half-formed sentences, messy emotions, angry confessions, small gratitudes. At first, it felt foolish. But journaling became a quiet refuge, a place where my pain could breathe without judgment. Writing didn't erase the hurt, but it gave it somewhere to go. Each day became a battle of small decisions. Drink water. Open the window. Stretch for 2 minutes. Eat something nourishing. Go to bed at a reasonable time. To anyone else, these actions looked simple. To me, they were proof that I wasn't defeated, and slowly, almost invisibly, I began to change. I learned that healing doesn't arrive with fireworks. It grows quietly. It looks like washing a dish. Like replying to a message. Like taking a shower after 3 days of feeling numb. Like reminding yourself that even when life feels unbearable, you are still here, and that matters. I started practicing gratitude too, even when it felt unnatural. Not big things, just tiny ones. The smell of rain. The softness of my blanket. A warm cup of tea. A moment of calm. Gratitude didn't fix my depression, but it softened my edges long enough to let light in, and then, one afternoon, something happened. I laughed. It wasn't planned. It wasn't forced. It simply slipped out, light, unexpected, real. It startled me. I couldn't remember the last time something felt genuinely funny. That moment didn't cure me, but it cracked something open inside me, a possibility I thought I had lost forever. Progress didn't mean perfection. There were days I still collapsed into old patterns. Days my chest tightened with anxiety. Days I couldn't fight as hard as before. But each setback taught me that healing isn't linear. You don't fail because you fall. You fail only when you stop trying. Why tiny habits grew into pillars. Walking turned into runs. Journaling turned into reflection. Gratitude turned into awareness. And little by little, the version of me who believed he was hopeless began to fade. I realized something life-changing. Depression had lied to me. It told me I was weak, but I was surviving. It told me I was unlovable, but I was learning to love myself. It told me I was alone, but I was reconnecting with life. It told me I was broken, but I was rebuilding. The day I decided to fight back didn't magically remove the darkness, but it gave me a foothold. It gave me strength. It gave me permission to try again, even when I failed. That decision saved my life, not because it instantly healed me, but because it reminded me that healing was possible. And now, when I look back at the darkest days, I no longer see weakness. I see a warrior who fought battles no one else could see. I see someone who kept living even when living felt impossible. I see someone who chose life one fragile, powerful step at a time. And maybe that's what healing truly is: not a finish line, not a victory, not a sudden transformation, but a daily act of courage. A decision to rise, to reach, to breathe, even when everything hurts. The day I decided to fight back was the day I discovered the truth. I was never too broken to heal, only too scared to begin. But once I began, everything changed.